So I just got done practicing and training for the Guinness World Records attempt on Saturday with Sailor. It is for Canine MTA, or longest flying disc throw time aloft before being caught by a dog. It's a bit of a mouthful, but Canine MTA is essentially what it is. It's basically WFDF World Record, or World Flying Disc Federation World Record, who's the governing body for flying disc sports, and then they send that and ratify it to Guinness World Records, who then approves it. So it's interesting, we get 15 attempts. The goal of today was just getting out and practicing throwing, learning the wind. This is Bottomlands Park. This is one of my favorite places to throw. It's been very special to me over the years. I've attempted many Guinness World Records here. I've done a lot of throwing. I've filmed a lot of videos here. Used to train with Davey here. Had attempts with Davey here. So it's a very special place. It's about 200 meters end to end. It's not super wide, but there's enough space that you can make it work. And so a lot of people have been asking, what is MTA? What is the record we're going after? And so it's maximum time aloft, so I throw the disc, maybe even a Frisbee in this case. I'll talk about that in a bit. I throw it in the air, Sailor runs and catches it, and it's total time from the time I let go of the Frisbee to when Sailor catches it, first contact with it. I think he wants to go play right now. He sees the Frisbees. Sailor, enough. We just trained. No, enough. He loves it. I love it. It's super fun. He's an awesome teammate. I know Puppy. So the goal today was to figure out what disc I'm going to use. When I do self-caught flight, it's my favorite event, and so to be able to do it with Sailor is pretty cool. When I do self-caught flight, I use a DX Condor from Innova, and so when I set the Guinness World Records title for longest throw caught by a dog to Davey Whippet, 11 years ago I threw a Condor as well. So this is 131 grams, super light. They are dog safe if the dog is running away and catching it. If it's coming towards them, it's not dog safe. It's just a little too stiff. And so I wouldn't use it in a lot of normal dog competitions, but for the world record, it can be a very useful disc, and it is dog safe. Like I mentioned, certain records. And so I was practicing with this. The challenge is it can come down really sharp. It can go really, really far because it's essentially a lightweight golf disc. And so when I was warming up, I don't think that's going to be the disc for me. Luckily, there's some wind today. You can see all the clouds. There's a storm coming in. Sailor, come here. There's a storm coming in. And so I do want wind, and it's just really trying to figure out, the challenge is, where is the wind going? So if I'm doing a distance record, I just throw downwind. If I'm doing a self-caught flight record, my slogan is let the wind guide you. And that really came from self-caught flight. So when I was in Sweden for the World Championships, 2013, I won self-caught flight for the first time, Sailor. And I'm a 6-time consecutive world champion in self-caught flight. And so my slogan is let the wind guide you, which means that when I go out to throw, and especially for these records, I can basically throw anywhere I want. I just have to let the wind guide me. When you're playing disc golf or ultimate, you have a set field and boundaries, but when you're doing self-caught flight, Sailor, he sees another dog and wants to play. When you're doing this, you can throw anywhere you want. And so it's finding out where the wind is going, the optimal angle. And so you'll see on the drone that the first part of it I was throwing where I thought the wind was just a little bit off. And then the last part, the second part of it, I guess, I was throwing and learning the angle and the wind and direction and everything like that. And then I brought Sailor out and threw a couple to him. So it's actually a pretty good training session. Sailor, come here. Come here. It was actually a really good training session. One of the challenges with this field is there's a lot of soccer nets. And so when we actually attempt the Guinness World Records title on the weekend, I'm going to have a bunch of volunteers here, and they're going to help me move the nets so he doesn't run into them, because he will run into things. He doesn't really know what's going on around him when he's after the Frisbee. He's very singularly focused, and so got to make sure to move it. Definitely safety first. And so when I was throwing today for him, just wanted to get him practicing having the Frisbee. Sailor sees a dog going after a ball. Come here, puppy. Sailor, come here. Come here. He loves to play. So when I was throwing to him, it wasn't about getting massive throws. It was just getting the angle. But honestly, like, I'm probably going to throw this disc. This is a Frisbee fastback from the Right Life. So thank you, Bill Wright. It's actually a Frisbee because it's made by Whammo. And I set the Minnesota State MTA record with one of these. So 14.69 seconds. 14.53 seconds, sorry. 14.53 seconds, that's to myself. So with Sailor, I think it's actually going to work really well. It's only about 95 grams, but when there's wind, this thing can just float. And so he caught some good ones, definitely over the world record. Currently the world record, I hold it with Davey. We set that in 2017, and it's 10.69 seconds. My goal with Sailor is 11 seconds. And I talk about this a lot in school, is that when I'm trying to break records, I'm not trying to actually break the record. Sounds kind of silly, but I'm trying to set my best. And so I want Sailor and I to go after 11 seconds. That's definitely possible. And if we get 10.71 seconds, I'll be happy because we broke the record, but I'll know that we could have done better. If I get 11.5 seconds or 12, I'll be super happy because we broke our goal, my goal for us, and we also broke the record. So that's really the goal on Saturday, is 11 seconds. I'm hoping that we have good conditions. Honestly, good conditions are just some wind. If it's a little bit chilly like this, it's perfect, because then he doesn't get too hot, he can run a lot. I don't mind some heat, but I just need wind. Without wind, it's very challenging to get this record, because instead of relying on the wind and throwing it into the wind, I have to then throw more downwind and make him run more room for air. So if I can throw it into the wind, have it float, he can have time to chase it and go after it. I'm excited for it, so that's what we're going after this weekend. Like I mentioned, a lot of people have been asking what it's all about. So self-caught flight, one of the components is maximum time aloft. That's one of my favorite things to do, and I love throwing to dogs. Sailor right now is my teammate. Unbelievable teammate. He's so motivated. I'm just so grateful and thankful and proud of him and Lara, who owns him, for letting me compete with him and spend time with him. And it's going to be a lot of fun. We have a good crowd coming out. I have some of my friends coming out to help film and make sure we get all the required documentation for Guinness and for WIFDF. And I'm just really grateful that I get to do this. I'm thankful that Frisbee has been such a big part of my life and continues to be a part of my life, and I have the ability and the opportunity to actually go after these records. So I'm super excited to share the results with all of you. Like I mentioned, I'm going after my best. If our best on Saturday is 10.3 seconds, we don't break the record, well, we did 10.3 seconds. So the goal this weekend with 15 attempts is to go big every single throw. We're not competing with anyone else. It's not a competition of who advances. It's one throw, one catch. That's all I need, whether it's the first one, whether it's the 15th throw. Our Guinness World Records title that we broke in October, I believe it was October 2021, November 2021, with the longest flying disc, longest mini flying disc throw caught by a dog. That's 40 meters. He missed the first 13. He caught the 14th. So do I hope that he breaks it on the first? I mean, that'd be awesome. If he gets an 11 seconds on the first one, then we just keep trying to go big and keep trying to push that number higher. But I'm just excited to be able to do this with him. He loves it. As soon as I let him out of the car, he sees the Frisbees. He just wants to go after it. And it's just a real joy to throw to him. One disc I might throw, this is the Extra 235. I threw this in the quadruped with him. This is a great disc too. It's a little bit heavier, 110 grams, a little stiffer. So if I'm finding that the fastback is not able to do well in the wind, I might throw this one for him. It can handle a bit more torque. I can throw it a little bit harder. But with this throw, it's not even about power. It's getting a lot of spin, just getting the right angle. Get it. Yes. Get it. Ready? Ready? Yeah. He just wants, I'll throw a couple to him for sure because he deserves it. Yes, I know. So yeah, it's just trying to figure out what disc is going to work. I do that before the record happens. I'm going to be here an hour before, just practicing, trying to figure out the angle, the wind, the height, everything. When my volunteers show up, we're going to make sure that sort of the area that I figure we're going to be throwing into is clear. We're not going to have to move all the nets. I'll have a diagram on the screen just kind of showing you. I throw roughly into the wind at about 1 o'clock, if you think of the wind like a clock. So if the wind's coming from 12 o'clock, I throw at 1 o'clock, and then it floats and glides, and he catches it maybe down about 4, 5, 6 o'clock. If it comes in too much, then I can tweak and adjust a little bit. But again, that's going to be what I figure out in the warm-up before I throw to him. Once I bring him out, we're going to do 5 attempts, then give him a rest. I'm going to do a little bit more practice. We do 5 attempts, rest him. I do a little bit more practice, and we do 5 more attempts. So you don't do 15 in a row. So you do 5, you adjust, you do 5. You can even do 3 each set, do 5 sets of 3 or 3 sets of 5. We'll see how the conditions are. Maybe I'll do 5 sets of 3. That might not be a bad way of doing it. And then I'm just aiming to get one good one out of every 3 throws. If you go for 5 throws, sometimes it can be a bit too many and then you feel like you're wasting a couple. So sometimes doing 5 sets of 3 is a good way of doing it. In a competition, we do 3 rounds basically of 5. So you do 2 rounds, or you do, you know, the first round and then semis and then finals is 5. That's why we do 15 throws, but we have a bit more flexibility with the record because it's just one catch, 1 throw. That's all you care about. So that's what it's all about. I really appreciate everybody following our journey the last couple weeks as we've launched the Guinness World Records 2024 book. Super grateful and honored to be selected as a Canadian talent from Guinness World Records and from Craft PR in Toronto, and to everybody in media who took a chance, who wanted to share our story and have us on their program, whether it was on TV, on radio, or online or in print. It was a lot of fun. Sailor, I don't know, he's become quite media savvy, I'd say, by now. He gets pretty used to it. He's fallen asleep a few times, and I don't know, he seems pretty happy as long as he's included in something and just isn't by himself. So as long as he's able to do things, you know, it's a lot of fun. So let's throw a couple short ones to him before we wrap it up and go home and get some sleep. But just everyone following along, really appreciate you following our journey, and there's a lot more to come, so stay tuned. Ready? Around. Nice catch, puppy. Come here. Bring it. Good boy. Out. Out. Drop it. Yes. Wait. Ready? Around. Oh, nice catch. Come on, puppy. Let's go. Let's go. Good boy. Last one. Ready? Let's go. Good boy. Let's go. Come on, puppy.